Michael, we are back and you are bright.
When this happens on your end, does the image on the screen freeze?
Sometimes. We're just calling in some angelic protection and influence. Protection again. We're just burning away anything that might get in the way of what needs to happen tonight for the people who need to be here to be able to receive the message in the moment that they're ready for it, to allow this to represent the burning away of what is no longer here to stay, but will be remembered for how it served us before, to teach us who we truly are, which is what we're going to be. Understanding in a flame that won't go out. So, sending a smudge your way too. Clearing this space and the connection all the way through, all the time.
For a second, I actually thought I could smell that.
Amazing. We're ready. It is burning bright. Let the smoke be what sets you alight to the passion inside of your own heart. The soul of who and whose you are. I pick up my grandma's cup. The one who started it all. The ancestors who are here to support us too. So here's a brew to all of them who came before us so we could stand on the shoulders of giants. And welcome to the Michael and Laura Show, introducing the teachings of the Ascended Masters, the ones who came before us and learned a few things they wanted to share, that were of the light, not an illusion of it. No longer illuminating things, but instead illuminating them and understanding the difference. Having teachers to guide us, ones who already came before and who will come again, or maybe are already here. They just need to remember, and maybe one of them are you. So Michael, who are the Ascended Masters?
They are the best friends that you're ever going to have in this lifetime. They are quite simply the next stage of human evolution. It's what we're all destined to become. And so we have examples throughout history of extraordinary individuals, and two that are well known would be Jesus and Buddha. There are certainly many more. And the message that they came to deliver has largely been misunderstood.
The interference is significant when the light show up to do what's right. And sometimes that means that we have to simply hold space and send prayers and well wishes and to sever cords or threats that may come around the ones who are doing the work. Jesus was crucified, don't you know? When God was speaking with somebody who was asking why he never saved them, God says, I sent you my best, but you killed them. You crucified them. You took them out because their light was too bright. And yet, those souls still learned what was needed to be learned.
Yeah, so continuing on that theme, one of the things that I think is really important to talk about when we ask the question, who are the Ascended Masters? There's a very important distinction in terms of who they are not. And the reason I want to focus on that for a minute is because with the proliferation of internet, there is just an overwhelming abundance of incorrect information. And I don't want to say that it's deliberately incorrect at the human level. It's happening on a much more discrete level. so that well-intentioned individuals who believe they have
Well-intended individuals who believe they have discovered universal truths that can be applied to others, then prescribe those solutions to people who needed a different medication, who maybe needed plant medicine or nature or love from a stranger without any expectation. Whatever the medicine of the moment was that that soul needed, instead we prescribed something that we read in a textbook went with those symptoms. We have to start understanding that we are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the ones who have the capacity and potential to become the ascended masters of our future history, of humanity as it is now. We have the capacity to become the enlightened ones, which what does enlightenment mean? But simply to embody more light. Enlightened is to be more of who you always were, remembering who that was the entire time. Michael, welcome back.
Yes, thank you. And so one of the things that the masters have made clear to us for the past 100 years is that they are not just spirits, but they actually materialize a physical form anytime they need one. And they do walk around here on Earth, completely unknown to most people. And they're very real in that regard. And later on, I'm going to show you an actual photograph of a very well-known Ascended Master. And I think we're going to talk a little bit about spiritual evolution, about reincarnation, about what ascension as a process is, because many people have incorrect ideas about that. And I think also we should take a few minutes and just really break down the terminology. What is it we're saying when we say these two words, ascended master? And I'm going to talk about master first. I remember in my judo training, which now is more than 50 years, walking into the school and discovering somebody who has a black belt, and you recognize them as a master. And then when you get to a black belt level, you discover, oh, that's only first degree black belt, and there's second and third and all the way up to 10th degree. And the first degree black belt, at that level of understanding, you recognize it.
You recognize that sometimes the darkness is just too overwhelming for the light to step into fully. And so for a time, it will fight as the light questions its own radiance. Because people or things around it once suggested that maybe it shouldn't shine so bright. It should tone itself down, reel itself back in to make others more comfortable. Just accept it. Just comply. Just be yourself, but within limits. You have to be respectful of other people first, is what we're really taught. And how crazy is that? How insane is it that we actually think it's okay to be less than we actually are for the sake of someone else? I remember years ago when I got together with someone that I'd known from school, and we ended up going out to a Buck and Doe the first night that we had met getting our nails done. And basically I was ready to dance and the dance floor wasn't started yet. So I started making some noise and sharing some juju and basically got the dance floor started, and it was a blast. And afterwards, my friend had basically told me I was embarrassing because she needed liquid courage in order to be able to do what I could do without any. And so sometimes that is just what the spontaneity of life requires. When things get in our way, we have to be willing to learn to dance around that. problem or issue that wasn't an issue or problem before. We actually said yes to the opportunity that made us walk in the direction of where darkness would get offended. So when it happens, you just fill time, because that's what we're trading our entire lives for anyway. That's what these ascended masters figured out. The 86,400 second lottery that every single one of us win until the end of the day that we're no longer here. We're all playing with the same pot, my friends. We get renewed every day until we don't, but we don't know when that will be. It's like in Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist, how he says the one that drives the sheep through the desert, the sheep being the people that are going through caravanning. And the leader of it says, I am where I am until I'm not. And today is as good as any to die. So why not be willing to play full out to the level where we are willing to put ourselves out there and try something that we never thought we could possibly do, because we always left it up for someone else. But if we had the ability to actually conceive it and can bring ourselves to believe it, then we have the ability to actually achieve it if we are willing to take action. Because even when you order pizza, you have to get yourself halfway there. You have to get off the couch to get to the door to actually receive the delivery person who did everything else to get that pizza to you when you ordered it. And like the cosmic kitchen, that actually is the way that we are able to place our order into the cosmic kitchen for what we desire to manifest in the whole law of attraction phenomenon that was popularized back in the early 2000s. And then all of those orders are then sent to the kitchen and brewed and stewed and then returned back to us in the form of what we ordered, delivered by a waitress even, who then still has to take it to the table and put it in front of us. And we then still are the ones that then must lift our fork to our mouth to feed ourselves. We are the ones that always must do the remainder of the work. And so in times like what we're experiencing right now, we just have to learn to go with the flow and be willing to connect with people and be patient. We have to learn to exercise kindness, understanding and compassion, empathy, the ability to relate to someone else, to understand that we have never walked a day in their shoes. We have no comprehension of where they have walked that day either, and therefore we must each show greater compassion and mercy towards each other. We must show to each other that we care genuinely. We must be willing to not only connect and correct for the sake of ourselves, we must be willing to learn to correct for the sake of being a responsible parental guidance role model, which is ultimately what we all aspire to be. We're all children who are in the process of growing up. And if we actually could learn that one of the greatest parental teams available to us are of the higher mind, not just mind, but heart too, the one that originated all of us, regardless of the box that we put God into. And then the sons that came from that one, the SUNs incarnate in us, and then the ones who came before and planted those seeds of Christ consciousness within us. WTF is all we have to say to ourselves when things get so frustrating as to prevent us from doing what is required. And yet, what if exactly what happens is what was meant to happen, and that nothing was happening to us, but everything was happening for us? And the delay in Michael being able to take the lead was the universe's way of making sure that we understood just how powerful we are as the inner parental team for ourselves. This seems an appropriate place to plug the Inner Child Peace Summit that Tim Wheatley and I will be hosting in November. So be tuned for that. It is the first Thursday of the month from 4 till 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And what I promise to do in all of what I am doing now is to bring you the best of the people that have been doing the inner work to help make sure that our houses don't fall when the storms come, and they're coming. There are some big changes, serious changes that are taking effect. And as any leadership team turns over, there is disturbance and disruption underneath. On the ground floor, there is ruckus. The waves of the tsunami wash onto the beach and take away people, places, things that previously we knew to be a certain way and now are different.
Okay. So I was describing my understanding of the term master, and I noticed that in the context of judo, when you get to about a 5th degree level, your execution of technique in all of your techniques is pretty much flawless. And at that point, you demonstrate mastery, and it's very self-evident. And I relate that to other fields. When you talk about somebody who is a master machinist or a master of the craft in whatever their field of endeavor, the master is demonstrably far exceeding the more common expert.
Masters exceed experts in understanding and mastery of the thing that all of us are working towards gaining expertise in. I suspect would be what he would have continued to have said before he got frozen and taken away from us again. Sometimes things just truly don't go the way that you had expected. And sometimes, despite the frustration, we have to be willing to say, okay, we're doing our best and we're filling in the blanks. And what I promised Michael was that I would be like a broadcaster who filled in the blanks when technology got interrupted. So there were no awkward pauses. And yet with that, we also have to understand the importance of pregnant pauses, both in conversation. Are you feeling awkward? Or are you reading my cues to know that it's okay and just waiting? Are you getting frustrated by the delay and understanding the point? Just check yourself before you wreck yourself, is what's required. We're being tested right now in this moment as we talk about mastery. Of course, it makes sense that we would get tested this way. He's joining still. Oh my God. Oh Lord. Sometimes you do get frustrated. And then you just have to say, okay, it is what it is.
Yeah, okay, now you're back. Okay. So I don't know what it froze. What how far did I speak?
You got to the place of differentiating between a master and an expert.
I think we need daylight for this. I think it's just too much darkness right now.
So this is really interesting and frustrating. Do we want to save this for tomorrow morning?
I think we're going to have a better result in the daylight. Okay, notice now we're not talking about anything important, and the Zoom connection is just fine.
Yep. Yep. Spiritual warfare and the nature of evil is what comes up in my setting the calendar. Michael Seeger's introducing. Oh, and I thought introducing the teachings of the Ascended Masters to the masses. I thought that was really clever. Like the wording and the lingo of that.
Works for me.
I quite like that. And also, if you write down the inner child, isn't there the decree for the children, free the children?
there are, I think there's one that you're probably, I don't know where you would have heard about this one, but there's one that does come to mind.
Azriel.
Ah, yes. So I think I know which one you're talking about. I do it every day. Actually, I do it in the evening with my rosary.
Yeah? I don't know it. What is it?
It's 2 pages long.
Do you read it every morning, or what do you do? What's your practice?
When I read it and I speak it, so I don't just read silently.
Yeah.
And it's a prayer that I give. It's 4.01 Decree for the World's Children, and I pray this before I do my rosary every night. There's a preamble. You want to hear the whole thing?
Read it to all of us.
Oh, my very own beloved I am presence, beloved Ascended Lady Master Venus, beloved Mother Mary, beloved Kuan Yin, beloved Archangel Michael, beloved Mighty Estrella, beloved Mighty Victory, beloved Great Divine Director, beloved Goddess of Liberty, beloved Saint Germain, beloved El Moria, all powers, activities, and legions of light, beloved Guru Ma and Lanello, the entire spirit of the Great White Brotherhood and the World Mother, elemental light, fire, air, water, and earth. I'm calling now to your electronic hearts of light to seal all of the children of the entire world and all mankind in an individualized focus of invincible ascended master light substance as an armor of absolute God protection and perfection which can never be requalified by the human. Let this protection serve eternally to guard all mankind from every destructive thought, word, and deed in connection with current world unrest, including all acts and dogmas of the communists, all distress connected with the South American, Cuban, African, and Asian situations, and every other discordant manifestation known or unknown. Let this include all improper educational releases throughout the world, every unwholesome person, place, condition, or thing before they can act, manifest, or further encroach upon life's perfection. Blaze, 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 the full power of the violet transmuting flame, Archangel Michael's sword of blue flame, and beloved Mighty Estrella's circle and sword of blue flame into and around the cause and core of every such condition, transmute it completely and render destructively qualified energies wholly impotent. Then requalify such energy with all of the love of beloved Lady Venus, beloved Kuan Yin, beloved Mother Mary, and all the ascended hosts until it can be used only to serve the light in setting all on earth eternally free in Saint Germain's love and name and by the full power of the beloved Goddess of Liberty's cosmic flame of devotion that loves all life forever free. I'm calling again now to my own beloved I am presence and Holy Christ self and to the Holy Christ selves of all mankind to flood to me now the holy light of 1,000 suns, to descend from millions of cosmic Christ to bless and heal, bless and heal, bless and heal all mankind, the laggards and most especially the children and youth of the world, flooding their individual worlds with all the beauty, comfort, glory, love, power, and peace they will ever need until all are wholly ascended and free. And in full faith, I consciously accept this, manifest, manifest, manifest. And in full faith, I consciously accept this, manifest, manifest, manifest. And in full faith, I consciously accept this, manifest, 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 right here and now with full power, eternally sustained, all powerfully active, ever expanding and world unfolding until all are wholly ascended in the light and free. Beloved I am, beloved I am, beloved I am.
And so that is the showing of the fact that everything happens for us, even when it feels like it happens to us. It is about realizing we can either feel the victim and frustrated because we feel out of control, or we can understand that there is a divine orchestra that is playing right now, of which we are one part. And that conductor knows the role of every single piece within that whole thing. And that is the one who is pulling the strings on this meeting tonight, which could have seemed a bust, except for you got the prayer for the world's children, which is one that all of us would benefit from reciting. You got through all of it before anything cut out. Your video froze at the very end in literally the last word you spoke, and then your video was frozen and you then went MIA completely. It was exactly divine.
Amazing. So that's the decree for children.
And how often do you do that?
I do that one every day before I do the rosary. And the one paragraph in there, which is the just before the end, I'm calling again now unto my own beloved, I am present in holy Christ self. I give that particular paragraph 9 times in a row because it amplifies the effect of those words by the power of 81. 9 times 9 is 81. So whenever I have a powerful decree that has a very powerful paragraph, I often will take that one paragraph and focus on it and repeat it a number of times.
Using that as the reminder to us all that everything happens for us, nothing happens to us, and that we have a role as a co-creator in this world. We have divine support, and we have support from others who are like us, such as Michael Seegers, who we can now join together in saying goodbye. Michael, final words to the people who had the privilege of listening to you tonight.
I think it's helpful to know that you're not alone, that there are thousands of us that are operating on a more than ordinary level of consciousness. And we're looking forward to finding the rest of you.
That's exciting. That is so exciting. So I'll edit this and get it up. And hopefully by the time you see this, either you can join Michael and I live tomorrow for that broadcast, or you'll be able instead to be part of one of the upcoming summits. The Inner Child Peace Summit will be coming up on November 5th. From 4 till 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then there is also the Inner Peace Summit happening on November 26th from 4 till 6 p.m. So I can't wait to share those opportunities with you. Save the dates in your calendar and come out for some tools, tips, techniques, talks. It is time for us to really dive deeper into who and whose we truly are. I look forward to bringing that to you very soon and wish you a phenomenal day. Namaste. Laura J. The peace in me honors the peace in you. That is the light. Light is peace. I never switched the words by accident before, but was it an accident? Only you know. Decide for yourself. Comment below. Have a good one. Toodaloo. Thank you.